welcome to another episode of Can You Connect? And this is Mr.WalkThatWalk. And today's episode, we're going to be going over dating people who have cluster B personality disorders. So the first one is going to be going over antisocial personality disorder. So our first one is a Caucasian lady who went over that her boyfriend would often be on drugs, and they were doing drugs together. They were often cheating, they were lying, and they went to jail and at some point separated as well due to being in jail. However, they got help after cheating on each other again. She mentioned that he has tendencies to do bad things, but not a bad person. And reported that he knows he's making mistakes. And she said that he would act out when he's bored, and said it was also hard for him to express how he feels. But that was a little tidbit I got from her about her boyfriend she dated that she felt like had antisocial. So now we're going to be going over to individuals' experiences with it. So our first person is going to be African American male from the U.S. He reports that he does not like being around people due to having a sense of when he understands that another person is weak, then he'll go out his way to manipulate that person or take advantage of them. So in turn, not to do that, he'll just stay away from people. And he reports that he will often go out his way to get to know people and what they want, and would change himself to that person, to the person they want to be around, so that he could get whatever he wants from them. And growing up, he mentioned that it was weird being around other people because these people would be expressing emotions, whether it's anger, sadness, guilt, or shame. And for him, he got annoyed with these people because he didn't really understand it, and it was off-putting to him to see people be very emotional. He reported also being confident in manipulating people due to consistently lying to his teachers about why he's not doing his classwork or other tasks in school. And he goes over how he would look at manipulation as a game and wouldn't feel guilty about doing what he did to people. But do feel like later on he does feel a bit like he's inadequate, or feeling as though, he's somebody of a low frequency because he does low value things. And he been reported going out his way to make people feel comfortable by smiling when he talks to people, due to normally maybe him coming off as usually just being flat and not feeling anything. And he points out that when his grandfather passed away, his father was crying, and this is when he was a kid, and he would wipe his dad's tears and tell him that it's okay, but at the same time feel weird to see his father crying and see that happening, because he couldn't really connect with or relate to it. And since he can't really relate to things, he doesn't really read rooms. So he would have to go into a place, sit down, and just observe people's behaviors and actions. He also discussed not being sure the last time he was happy, but would go out his way to fake being happy, or fake showing that he's happy. He mentioned also not being sure if he wants to be married or have a family due to him having a hard time connecting with people. Because he has to fake his emotions and how he comes off to try to fit in a relationship, because people will often require more of him. So he's often wearing a mask and feeling weird. But in his mind, he can be committed the whole time. It's just that he can't keep up with showing these fake emotions the whole time. So at some point, the mask comes down, and then, the person usually does not want to put up with that. And he mentioned that when he wears the mask, he feels angry. It makes him want to lie, and it makes him want to cause problems. But now that he's working on just being himself and having people just accept him for who he is or not, that relieved a lot of stress and frustration from him. And the last thing in that is he went over having an inflated sense of self due to being able to outsmart a lot of people, such as adults, when he was a kid. But nowadays he has a therapist and asks his therapist about social situation he has with his peers to work on making progress with his communication and keeping a long friendship. Our next person is going to be a Caucasian male from the U.S. He discussed that he will often use drugs and sell drugs. And commit certain crimes. And at some point he would look at relationships as something transactional. He admitted to thinking that he admitted to that he used to never admit that he was wrong. And he didn't feel bad about things he would do to people, like cheating. And when he was growing up, he does not remember certain things. Due to not having any emotion tied to any memories to help him remember things. He reported that his family did not believe in his disorder. And growing up, he also discussed that he didn't like being told what to do. And that he would get impulses. So these impulses would make him want to do certain things. But he's been working on controlling his impulses. He said when he went to prison, he was, let's say, mistreated. So that made him not want to go back to prison and not want to do any more bad things. And after having his child and son, that's been keeping him on a better path and has been helping him work on his emotions and being a good father. And that will conclude the people with antisocial personality disorders. Our next one is going to be people with borderline personality disorders. So this will be a Oh, okay. This would be a Caucasian male going over his experience dating women who had borderline personality disorder. He reported that he had to beg one girl for a second date. And he said that intercourse happened pretty quickly. He said that his girlfriend did cut her wrist, and I think he didn't notice until he saw somebody else cut themselves, which they cut their leg, so that was more revealing. So these are just certain things that he's remembering that they did. He reported that most of the girls with borderline personality disorder he talked to had went through some trauma, and they could be emotionally high or low. And it felt like he was walking on eggshells while dating them. And he said they love you one moment and then hate you the next moment, due to them getting triggered by something he's saying. He said one girl wanted to leave him because he didn't cry. Therefore, he forced himself to cry, and she got satisfied by watching him cry. So he's saying that she wanted to see him suffer. And he explained how when he will pull away from them and let's say want to leave, they would try harder to be around him to get him back. Sorry. To the point to where they would often try to get pregnant or do other sexual favors to get him more interested. Alright, there is, and that will conclude him and his experience dating somebody with borderline. Our next one is going to be someone who I think it's a Caucasian lady from the US. She mentioned being impulsive, and when not having a sense of identity, she would dye her hair and try out different identities that felt comfortable for her. And she stated at times she would worry about her boyfriend leaving her, and that was due to dealing with a lot of abandonment in her younger life, in her, when she was a kid. She explained how she would go from loving a friend and talking to them often, almost every day, but if they made a remark that she didn't like or did something wrong, she would then hate them. And she said these emotions become very intense, and think about not texting for a while. And if the person does not, so let's say they could be doing something wrong, or they could say a weird remark to them, or if they don't text them back, then that makes it even worse. So they're feeling like that the other person doesn't like them or want to be around them anymore just because they haven't text back. And she reported usually she would self-harm. And she mentioned learning more about her disorder and how people felt about her disorder online made her a bit depressed, which made her not go to work and just skip work, and well, I guess to the point of getting fired because she didn't go back to work in 8 months, and she was just bedridden the whole time due to not liking how people on the internet felt about her disorder. And usually every year she would get a new job due to conflict with a coworker. And when one thing would upset her, it would ruin her day. She said that her mom was on drugs and she will always be moving from one place to the next place, and then had the responsibility of taking care of her siblings. So she said that had a big impact on her. Our next person is going to be a Asian woman from the U.S. So she stated feeling no self-worth unless she was working. So working gave her that accomplishment, like she's doing something worthy. And when she would close her laptop after work, she would have panic attacks and the urge to cut herself. You know, this is due to if everything came from work and you get back to reality after work and you feel like you're not worth anything unless you're working, then that's what that's causing. She had an addiction to work and felt ashamed, you know, feeling like she had no other choice but to go to rehab to get help. But that brought shame as well. She reported losing relationships, lost her self-care due to overworking, so not doing, let's say, hygiene, eating, or sleeping, you know, would skip meals, won't use a bathroom, you know, which that affected her health because she said that caused her to have UTIs. And not sleeping because she feels like she doesn't deserve to sleep. So, therefore, she said pain helps her connect to her body. So that's why she would cut herself. And when not connected, she would also, she began working out. So that would help her not cut herself. Or do self-harm. And doing movement, like movement therapy. Because if she wasn't doing those things, she would feel empty. She would be shaking due to not eating and not doing any self-care. But since having a partner, her partner reminds her to eat and do her self-care and do things for herself. She mentioned also not deserving to feed herself. You know, not deserving to eat. Due to those thoughts of not feeling accomplished or not feeling like she's doing anything worthy. Because she's not working. So anytime she's not working, it's like a huge cloud of doubt and feeling horrible comes. That's just my thinking into it. But she mentioned focusing on her work relationships. It helps. She mentioned overly focusing on her work relationship. But her partner knows her disorder due to the past and not having support. So that helps her boyfriend knowing, what she's going through. But she even had issues with her relationship with her boyfriend because she's overworking. So he's not really getting that quality time with her. To the point where she makes schedules for everything, and she would put him on a schedule, literally. He was like, what are we doing? Let's hang out. So, that was a bit of conflict with them. But when she was able to get therapy and assistance, and I believe maybe medication as well, that improves, and get her diagnosis, and was able to present that to her family, that improved some of her interactions with her family, because now her family has a better understanding of why she acted a certain way growing up and why she was doing certain things. Because before she didn't talk to her family, there wasn't a relationship there. And that will conclude it with her. And the next person is a African American male from the U.S. He stated that he would often think why he was born and want to feel love and just, needs hugs because he at times feels lonely. But he does mention that getting his diagnosis was a sign of relief because now he knows what he has and now he's able to make sense of everything and try to work on fixing things. But when younger him, his parents would try to hide his disorder and act like everything was fine with him. He stated that his father never seen his father ask for help, and certain things made him feel empty inside, and nothing made him feel good. Felt alone, usually most days, and hope the next day he will have a happy day. But oftentimes he was quick to anger, especially when he was younger. He said it being hard to express his emotions, thinking people don't show him any love. Therefore, he would just stay in his room and isolate for days. So not doing any self-care or any of that. He mentioned that at times he didn't really or does not care how other people feel. And going over is hard for him to open up to people and hard to use any coping skills when going through something. So he definitely has certain issues. He has like a love and hate relationship for people. Our next thing is going to be histrionic personality disorders. So talking to somebody who has that. But I didn't find anything. I wanted that personal experience and I was like, I didn't find nothing from it. So this person often wants attention. All the time. Every day. On the dot. So imagine dealing with somebody who's craving attention. And what does that look like today? Today it looks like people who, let's say, crave social media and the gratifications they get when they may get a bunch of likes from people on the internet. So they're posting pictures. So let's say this person may be deemed as attractive, and it may be, they may get a bunch of likes. A decent amount of women get a bunch of likes, and then, people going after them, trying to chase them. So they have a need for that. And some women really need it all the time. So it's not all women. Women do need attention, but there's like levels to it. It's like you could be super extreme about the attention, or like get the attention from your partner, and then they're good. But some, it's like they need it from everybody. So you can only imagine how much problems that's going to cause in a relationship. It's like, yo, like, who are you talking to? Like, why are you talking to them? Why are you? Oh, they said I look nice. I wouldn't like it. No, what? Can you not do this? Why are you? No, get rid of that. So I can see how that would be causing problems in a relationship or marriage if you're talking to somebody and they were doing certain things. And it also says some people are doing sexually seductive things as well. So let's take it up a notch to where what's popular nowadays? It's popular to do over sexualized things. So, maybe you're talking to somebody who's in the industry and doing things like that. So, if you're having a thought about, well, who has this personality disorder? Well, it may be those people. I'm not saying all of them, but a decent amount might have it. If they're craving that attention, they need that attention, and they're doing anything to get that attention. Something to think about. All right, we're going to go to the last one, and that is going to be narcissistic personality disorder. This is going to be going over. Our first person is going to be a Caucasian lady from the U.S. She reported wanting to come across perfect. So the way she would try to come out perfect, and the way what she's learning it from is celebrities. So she's learning celebrities' mannerisms, and with practice, working on her body language or her facial expressions, maybe her walk as well, to help her in doing these things that would help her feel comfortable. And she often mentioned wanting the spotlight, but would freeze up when getting it. She said due to past trauma and she dealt with past trauma of embarrassment. So maybe somebody made fun of her when she was going up to, how when you're younger you go up to a project and you're doing, you're talking in front of people. So maybe the time she talked in front of people, somebody embarrassed her, so that maybe stunted her from, even though she wants the attention, wants everybody looking at her, she can't deal with it in person. She may handle it better online. She will also practice positive self-talk and go over compliments that people gave to her. She said that self-care helps her feel better, but at times swimming might help a bit more for her. So doing that movement, so we're going back to another person that does movement therapy or doing something active. It's helpful for them. At times she mentions that she feels like an empty shell, like a million different pieces. She stated that she would struggle to be interested in other things and will only focus on herself and get bored with other things or maybe people. She said that finding a community helped her because it was nice talking to other people who also struggle with different personality disorders. She discussed how she was never noticed as a child. So these things kind of affected her and maybe put her in that situation where she now, what probably caused her to have it. And also not growing up, she stated not growing up with love and would try to be perfect for her partner. But her partner worked on giving her attention and would try to be understanding and would have to go out his way to pull her away from the mirror. So he would try to help her when she's obsessing over herself. And he said, look, he's like, all I do is compliment her one day and she's like, she's good the rest of the day. So that was pretty interesting to hear as well. And there was an African American male who mentioned that he does not remember anything before him having, as a kid, I think 8 or 7, him having a narcissistic personality disorder due to trauma. So he feel like his trauma is keeping him away from or protecting him from those uncomfortable memories and the trauma. And our next person is a Caucasian lady. Stated that she needs attention and, would get easily bored, do risky things, did the beauty pageant, which helps with her self-esteem. And if she has nowhere she could get this attention, then this will cause her to become sad and, get down about herself as well. And then get offended easily. So she would often lose her temper and lose certain relationships and friendships due to that. And things that might have helped her feel better if she spent all her money on doing drugs because you're not feeling those uncomfortable emotions. At times, she mentioned feeling invisible without makeup. And she said that getting those thousands of likes only felt good for a moment. But those mean comments that people would say to her stood out the most. So she would crave that external validation, but didn't know how to give that validation to herself internally. Let's see. Okay, our next person is going to be a Caucasian male. Sorry about that. Stated feeling like he's different due to being abused, which affected his life and made it hard for him to connect with other people. And often felt envious of other people due to thinking people are judging him and wanted to, just be normal and have a normal life. Where his family loves him and take care of him, but they don't. His family didn't. Maybe through his experience, he felt like his family didn't love him or take care of him or maybe neglected him and maybe caused him a bunch of trauma. And now he feels like he can't relate to anybody. But at times, maybe often feeling superior due to always saying the right thing when talking to people. But at times getting tired of it and want to be normal. But don't want to be hurt by anybody. So due to not wanting to get hurt, he feels stuck because he wants to get out of this box, but getting out of the box makes him vulnerable to an attack. He said it always concerned with his self, which makes him stressed out, and blames partner. Would blame partner if things don't go well or if everything ends. Therefore, it caused him to feel hopeless about it, and just want people to understand who, his disorder and why he does certain things. And lastly, he says abandonment affected him a lot. That had a big impact on him, which caused him to have anger and try to leave the partner first because he doesn't want to get hurt by the partner. So he'll go out his way to just leave the relationship to avoid the hurt. I'm sorry. But yeah, that will conclude it. Definitely thanks for watching. We're going to check back in, and we're going to be supporting a black-owned content creator, Sell the Bandy. They just do fighting, some boxing, promoting boxing and the art of boxing rather than doing anything worse than that, doing anything extremely violent. So, pretty good channel, pretty decent. And trained a content creator for a boxing match as well. So that was pretty interesting. So I'll put their information in the description below. And yeah, definitely support the artist who did my intro and outro to the songs. And the person who did my avatar. And myself, I'm a clinical social worker for the state of Maryland. So I provide individual, couples, or family therapy. So if you're interested, just send me an email. And y'all have a good rest of the night or a good rest of the day.